One of the most common things I hear from high performing professionals is this: I make a decision and then my brain keeps working on it. They leave a meeting and then spend the next hour replaying the conversation in their head, thinking, what did I say? What should I have said? What did they mean by that? Maybe you've noticed this in your own mind. You make a decision and then your brain keeps reviewing it. If we haven't met yet, I'm Nikki Gangemi, and I help high achieving professionals quiet the mental overload so they can think clearly and trust their decisions again. And this pattern of overthinking shows up far more often with smart, capable people than most realize. Not because something is wrong with them, but because of how their mind has been trained to work. Let me explain what I mean. I worked with a client recently who runs a successful business. Very thoughtful, very capable, someone a lot of people rely on. From the outside, everything looked fine, but inside her mind, the work never really stopped. She would make a decision and then mentally review it. She'd leave a conversation and then replay it later. Can you relate to that one? And she kept checking if she missed something. Nothing was actually wrong. Her mind just kept reviewing the decision to make sure nothing had been missed. And once you see this pattern, you start to understand something very important. Overthinking isn't actually a personality flaw. It's usually a strategy that your brain learned. Think about it. Smart people are trained to anticipate problems. Their reputation depends on catching mistakes. In many professions, whether it's law, medicine, finance, leadership, the people who succeed are the ones who notice the details others miss. Thinking carefully has helped them to succeed. So the brain learns something very logical. If I think longer, I can avoid mistakes. And for a long time, that strategy works until one day it starts doing something else. Instead of producing clarity, it produces mental overload. Instead of helping you to make decisions, it keeps you stuck reviewing them. Instead of finishing the day and feeling done, your mind keeps working long after the work itself is finished. And here's what's actually happening. Overthinking usually isn't about the future. It's about the unfinished loops in the mind. Your brain believes the situation is still open, that the decision is still active, the conversation is still unresolved. So it keeps working on it. But most of the time, the decision is already made. The meeting is already over. The conversation has already happened. The mind just never closed the loop. And when the brain thinks a loop is still open, it keeps searching for the perfect answer. That's why people replay conversations, why they rethink decisions, why their mind keeps returning to the same situation again and again. The brain is trying to complete something it thinks is unfinished. So, one of the simplest shifts I teach my clients is this. Before making a decision, ask yourself a very direct question. Do I have enough information to make a responsible decision? Not a perfect decision, a responsible one. If the answer is yes, make the decision. And then give your brain a boundary. You can literally say to yourself, this decision is complete unless new information appears. That simple sentence does something very powerful. It gives your brain closure. It signals that loop is finished. And when the brain understands the decision is complete, something interesting happens. The replaying starts to settle. The mental checking slows down. The internal pressure begins to drop. Decisions become clearer, your mind settles faster, and work stops following you home. You can make a decision and actually feel good about it. Leadership starts to feel lighter. So here's something to think about. What decisions in your life are already made but your mind is still working on. Here's one final thought. Overthinking usually isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's often a sign that your mind has been trained to carry a lot of responsibility. If you've been noticing patterns like this in your own thinking, that's exactly the kind of thing we look at in a Clarity Catalyst session. It's a focused conversation where we identify the pattern that's driving the mental overload and what needs to shift so your mind can settle again. You can apply through the link below the video. And if this video resonated with you, feel free to subscribe for more conversations about how the mind works and how to lead your life with more clarity and confidence.